Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Vishnu Prabhupada. All glories to our revered speaker for today, His Grace Srila Prabhu. And all glories to our Vaishnava devotees. And welcome to a new week. Today is Monday, beginning of a new week. And it is so auspicious that we're beginning the week with His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Maharaj. Today is his disappearance. And we are fortunate to have His Grace Srila Prabhu, who will be sharing with us who this great soul was, is, and forever will be, especially in the lives of us as Vaishnava devotees. So, Srila Prabhu, thank you so much, as always, rendering this service. And you may take it over from here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So to start with, I will sing a special prayer which glorifies His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. It's very beautiful prayers. I think we have it on the board. Okay. Is it on the board there?
No.
I sent you I gave you the link.
Oh, sorry, let me check to see. So. Okay, let me do this. Please, devotees, give me a second. I'm trying to do that.
Okay. Is on the board?
Not
Click
yet.
it. Okay.
Not yet.
I'll give you the link.
Yeah, I didn't see it earlier.
Oh, I sent to you to your. Okay. Were you able to open the page?
No, but I've seen the song. Let me see.
So I'm going to start singing the song, and then
you may start, and then I'll put it up.
Okay. Sujano jito sajana sangapatin patitadi kakaruni kai kagatin kati chabanchita vanchakatin chapadam panamami sada prabhupada padam ati kumala kanchana digdatanun Tanunin ditae mani man la madan padana buddha bandita chanda padam panama misada prabhupada padam nijasivaka taraka ranji vidum vidutadita hunkita simha badam paranagata Balisa Sanda Padam Panamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Vipuli Kitabai Baba Gora Bhuvan Bhuvane Suvikriti Gora Dayan Dayanani Yagana Pita Gora Padam Panamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Chiragora Jana Saya Viswagurum Guru Gora Kisora Kadasya Param Paramadita Bhakti Vinoda Padam Panamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Raguru Pasanatana Kiti Dharam Dharani Talaki Chita Jiva Kabim Kaviraja Narotama Sakyapadam Panamami Sada Prabhupada Padam Kipaya Hari Kitanamoti Dharam Dharani Baraba Araka Gora Janam Janakadika Vasala Snigda Padam Panamami Sada Prabhupada Padam Sarana gata kinkaraka patarum tarude kikita dirabadan yabaram varadenda gacha ganachita divyapadam panamami sada prabhu pada padam paraham sabaram paramata patim patito darane kita vishayatim Hatiraja Gana Pari Sevya Padam Panamami Sada Prabhupada Padam Vishabhanu Sutta Dayitano Charam Charana Sitari Darastaham Mahadabhuta Pavana Shakti Padam Panamami Sada Prabhupada Padam Panamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Panamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam. Very beautiful songs composed by the Srila Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada's god brother. Gurave Gurachandraya Dikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah. Jnana Chimbindasya Gana Gana Salakaya Chaksusumlita Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishta Stapita Yena Bhutale Sayarupa Kadamaya Tadati Swapadantikan Vandeyan Sri Guru Sitam Padakamalan Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sakajatan Sahagana Raghunata Vityatan Sajiva Sadhuetan Sabadutan Parijana Saitan Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devan Sri Radha Krishna Padasahagana Raghunata Vityatan Sajivan Sri Radha Krishna Padasaha Lalita Sri Visakha Visancha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Vishabhadu Sudevi Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radha Bindavaneswari Vishabhanu Sudevi Panamami Haripaye Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gurabani Pracharine Nivishesa Sunyavadi Paschacha Disatarine Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Tinamine Vanchaka Pataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyacha Patita Nam Pavana Vyabhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Namo Mahavadaya. Krishna Primapadayate. Krishna Ya Krishna Chaitanya. Namine Gora to say Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita Gadahara. Srivasadi Gora Bhaktavinda. Namo Vishnu Padaya. Krishna Pistaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta. Saraswati Titi Namine. Seba Sabana Videvi Daitaya Kripabdaye. Krishna Sambandha Jnana Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha. Madhuyo Jwala Prema Dwa Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Sri Gora Karuna Shakti Vigahaya Namo Nistute. Namaste Guravane Simutaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudha Shidanta Dvanta Harine. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadahara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ananda Lila Maya Vigraya Himabada Vichavi Sundaraya Tasma Maha Prema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandra Yanamana Masute Chaitanya Chandra Yanamana Masute. So I thank everyone for being here this evening, my time. Some of you is your afternoon and some is your morning. So it's a special honor for me to be speaking on this very, very auspicious day of the Disappearance Day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. It's a very, very auspicious day that we're able to honor such great personality who was referred to as Paramahansa Shiromani. Shiromani means the best, the jewel of among all the Paramahansas. Paramahansas are the greater personalities who are the great, very dearest devotees of the Supreme Lord. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada was such a person. He was not an ordinary person. He was not ordinary. And of course, he was famously known as a Simha Guru, lion-like spiritual master. Lion-like spiritual master who never give any compromise to anything. So and of course, he was called Simha Guru for his fierce preaching, not compromising on anything. Everything has to be 100% dedicated to the absolute truth. Just like in one of Srila Prabhupada's poem to his Guru Maharaja, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he famously say that in personal calamity, thou art smashed. Absolute is sentient, thou hast proved. Very, very beautiful. That's like 8 stanzas of poem which Srila Prabhupada had composed for his Guru Maharaj. And this poem was so much loved by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta that he ordered it to be put in the magazine that time in the Sajana Toshana magazine, or the Harmonist magazine, which was the Harmonist magazine was a weekly magazine of that time of the Gaudiya. So the personality of him, like Srila Prabhupada was always saying that my Guru Maharaj, he was not an ordinary person. He was not a man of this world, he was a Vaikuntha man. That was always Srila Prabhupada's famous, that he was that is in Vaikuntha, it's come from the Vaikuntha. So we're honoring today, and of course today being the Disappearance Day, Two things. One is that we are sad. Why we sad? Because we miss the great personalities when they leave our sight. So we lose when they leave our sight. So which means the physical association is not there. As they say that when a guru leaves, the disciples should cry. When a guru leaves leave the planet. So when great personality leave us, so we cry for their absence, that because of separation from them. So we lament for that. But similarly, but at the same time, he had gone to rejoin his Istadev, his worshipable Lord, Srila and Krishna. He had rejoined in their eternal lila, eternal pastime. So therefore, we chant Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Paramahansa. Jai Nitya Lila means he has entered. Pravishta means to enter. Pravishta Om Paramahansa, the great personalities. He are going to enter into the eternal pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So like Lord Krishna, his pastime is ongoing every day. There's what we call Ashtakalila. Ashtakalila is a daily activities of the Lord, is daily pastimes. And this pastime begins from early morning. This is what we call this. This has been divided into 8. And it's called, the first one is called Nishantalila. The Nishantalila means the end of the morning, the end of the night pastimes. This begins at around 4 o'clock in the morning. We are Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani. They were in their kunja, in the grove, and they were and then they were waking up by the when Lalita Vishaka Devi directed the parrot to sing, so that because Radha and Krishna, they were lying on the bed, and then it's almost the daytime, so the bird, they were directed to go and sing, so that the divine couple can wake up, and then they can go to their various homes. So the daily pastime begin, and it goes on till, and then the day pastime, the noon pastimes, the afternoon pastimes, until the night pastimes. So eight daily activities. So the great persons, so they are eternally assisting this the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Like we sing Nikunja, radically see there. Yayali be yukti apekshani, yeah. In the Kunja means in the grove, in that's very, very, very intimate grove where Radha Krishna they are performing their pastime. So the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta, is assisting the divine couples in their eternal lila, in that Nikunja, in that private quarter, which it's not accessible to anyone. Growth is not accessible. Even the Shaka, the friends of Krishna, cannot get there. Balaram cannot get there. It's a very, very special thing. It's not something that is available to anyone. So, because the great personalities like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, he had entered this eternal pastimes. So therefore, we actually be very joyful. We sing with joy. We become very, very happy, by being of remembrance of this eternal lila. So the occasion of disappearance, it gave a occasion for lamentation and also celebration. So both is there. So it's our great fortune that we are in the line of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. There are so many Vaishnavas line. just like we have 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas. Many Vaishnava Sampradayas are there. And then among all the Sampradayas, we have the Brahma, Madhva, and then Gaudiya line. So Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya line, which Gaudiya line, which is the line that's started from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And then this line comes down. It comes down from the 6 Goswamis and the 6 Goswamis. And then we have other personal, after the 6 Goswami, we have personality like Narottam Das Thakur, then come down to Vishnu Chakravarti, and then down to Bhade Vidyabhushan, then Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Gurukisha Das Babaji Maharaj, and then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And of course, we have our Srila Prabhupada. Now, among that Gaudiya line, there are also many branches. Many branches are there. Many branches of Gaudiyas are there. But our specific line is that it's called Prabhupada's Bhaga Prabhupada's the Saraswati line. That's our line. And it's that line that's a very special line. Very unique line that can, which is, because on that line was actually ordained by the Lord himself. It's ordained by the Lord, that line, which is that line that comes whereby the Lord's holy name was spread all over the world. The Lord's name was spread all over the world, especially in Kali Yuga, where it said that Yuga Dharma is Nam Sankirtan. That the process of Yuga Dharma is Nam Sankirtan. So when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, his father, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had revived the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which had become very unknown in the world. This was in the 1800s. It has become very much unknown in the world. The Vaishnavism was no longer being respected, and especially the people. It has basically become a religion for people just to come and do some begging, so that when people see a Vaishnava coming on the road, they simply think that, oh, this person is coming to beg. That's what it has reduced to. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he began the rejuvenation of this Mahaprabhu's movement. By that time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was a very responsible man. This was during the British ruling, when the British were ruling India. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was a district magistrate. He was a court. He was a judge, a court judge, a district magistrate, and so he had his duty. And at the same time, also he began to preach vigorously. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then he made a special prayer to Lord Jagannath. That time it was Jagannath Puri. So he made a prayer to Lord Jagannath, praying to so he went inside the Jagannath temple and prayed to the goddess Bimala Devi. Bimala Devi is actually goddess Lakshmi herself. So he made a prayer to goddess Bimala Devi that he wanted a son who will propagate the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted a son that will propagate Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. So in answer to that prayer, that calling to the Lord, so shortly after this prayer was made, and then there was pregnancy, and then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was born. So he was born. We celebrate the disappearance in just a week after Lord Nityananda's appearance day. So, and then when he was born, the umbilical cord that that comes with every child when they were born, but the umbilical cord around his body was draped around his body just like a thread. It was draped around his body just like a thread, the umbilical cord. And then, after so the child was named Bimala Prasad. Bimala Prasad means, yeah, this is the mercy of Bimala Devi. So this is the name that he was given, Bimala Prasad. And then in 6 months, after 6 months of the birth of the child, it was Rath Yatra time. And because Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he was the magistrate, he was also the head of Jagannath Puri. So he was a custodian of Jagannath Puri, the Jagannath temple. So and the house of Bhaktisiddhanta just on the main road. If any of you have been to Jagannath Puri, on the main road where the Jagannath Theatre passed by, the main road, you will see the house of the house is there, right on the main road. Now there's a temple, there's a Gudema temple there, which is the Chaitanya Gaudiya Math is there. So the house is a very wonderful place. So when the Rath Yatra was coming, and then normally the crowd, the devotees, they pull Jagannath, there was a big kirtan and all that. But all of a sudden, when the Rath Yatra reached in front of the house, the Jagannath just stopped there. Jagannath Rath stopped right there and could not move. Nobody could push the rat. I mean, we are talking of, when you go to Puri, you will see, it's not that we see like thousands and thousands of people. And usually on every Rath Yatra day, there have been nothing less than, 5 million people on the Rath Yatra day. I was fortunate to be there on some few occasions. So the rat just stopped and they pushed. Nobody could move the cat right in front of the house of Bhakti Thakur. So the mother, she saw this as an opportunity to present the baby to Jagannath. So the baby was brought before Jagannath. The baby was put on the cart. Usually it's a huge cart, not a small cart. So the baby was put on the cart, and when the baby was put on the cart, then a garland of Jagannath just fell down. The garland of Jagannath just fell down on top of the baby. It fell down, just fell down on top of the baby. So which means is to certify that yes, this child is actually being sent by Krishna, by the Lord Himself. So Srila Bhakti Thakur was very, very happy that yes, my prayer has been answered. The Lord has sent His own associate. He has sent His own associate who will propagate His own glory. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, right from his birth, it was always very, very quiet, sober, always in thought of Lord Krishna. And it was mentioned that when he was 6 years old, he already memorized the Bhagavad Gita. When he was 6 years old. And just imagine how many of us, even though we're already in our many, many years already, still we find it difficult to remember many, many Gita verses. At 6 years old, I already know about Bhagavad Gita. And then there was one day, he saw a mango on the table. So he saw a mango on the table, and then he ate it. He had the mango, and then when he ate it, so his father admonished him that, oh, what have you done? This mango is boga. eating something that is meant to the law. It's supposed to be offered to the Lord. Why have you eaten it? He was as a child of 6 years old. Why have you eaten it? So, and then celebration. Then he's as the baby booming pressure. They say, "Oh, I'm an offender. I've eaten something that is meant for the Lord. So therefore, it's my vow that from today on, I will never again eat mango from today on. I will never again eat mango." In India, this mango is such a very dear fruit. It's probably the season when the mango season comes. Mango is called the king of fruits. It's called the king of fruits. So when the mango season comes, everybody will want to eat mango, except if you're diabetic or something nowadays. The mango is such a great fruit. So but that vow, which he took that vow at the age of 6, that I will never again eat mango. So he will again from that, and he maintained that vow throughout his life. That's like Prabhupada we say that anytime anybody offer mango to my Guru Maharaj, he said he will simply say, "No, I cannot eat mango because I'm an offender. I cannot eat mango." So this vow he maintained throughout his entire life. So and then he was said to be a very highly learned person. He was a great prodigy, very, very highly learned person. And his brain was sharp. He was very encyclopedic. He was a Shrutida. Shrutida means you hear something, you don't forget. He was a Shrutida. And he was a master in so many, many things, in his astronomy, and even he was even given the title Siddhanta Saraswati. He was given that title because Suya Siddhanta was the one of astronomy thing which he had made this astronomical principle, the astrology, this Suya Siddhanta. As a matter of fact, he was said that he discovered one of the planets that he actually discovered through his astrological calculation. So immaterially, he was very, very highly learned. So when he was going to school, of course, he studied all the subjects, Sanskrit and all that. And when he was asked that time, the Calcutta University, this was during the British, they offer him a chair to come and be a professor in the university. But Srila said, no. He said, I only learned this thing so that I can be able to preach the glory of the Lord's name. I'm not learning this thing just to be a great academician, a so-called great professor. No. That's not my purpose. So, and then towards the beginning of the 1900, I think it's the 19th, 20th century, yeah, towards the beginning of that. So, and then his father told him that now you have to take initiation. You have to take a Vaishnava initiation. After all, life is not meaningful unless one have the shelter of a Vaishnava guru. So that time there was a great Vaishnava by the name Guru Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. But Guru Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, he was not like educated person. He was in fact illiterate. He was illiterate. He was not an educated person, but he was a Paramahansa, great devotee of the Lord, great Paramahansa. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he told Bhimala Prasad that you should go and take initiation. You should go and approach this Vaishnava and take initiation from him.
So, and then Bhaktisiddhanta Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. Then he went to Gokushala Maharaja. My life will be meaningful only if you accept me as your disciple. But Gokushala Maharaj, he said, you are such a highly learned person, very famous, very highly educated person. Why will you take initiation from a person like me? I mean, I'm ignorant person. I don't know anything. I'm illiterate. So I'm not qualified to be your guru. I cannot give you initiation. So Srila said, no, I must take initiation from you. So he was approaching him several times. Srila Gokushala Maharaj he keeps saying, no, that is not, keep saying that is not qualified to give him initiation. So and then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he make a vow. He said, well, if you don't give me initiation, then I will end my life. He said that I'm ready to jump off the bridge and end my life if you're not going to give me initiation. So because of this great determination, so Gokushala Babaji Maharaj, so then he relented, and then he gave the initiation. And then that time he was known as Sri Vasabhanabi Daita Das. Sri Vasabhanabi Daita Das was his initiated name, which basically means the servant of Srimati Radharani. Radharani is called Vasabhanabi, which means the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So he was given this vow. And then, so after the initiation, then the Guru, he commanded him that now you must preach the glory of Gaur Nityananda, Radha Krishna. You must preach worldwide. You must preach to one and all. So in around 1905, before he began his mission, first Bhaktisiddhanta took a big vow. He took a great vow. He said that I must chant 1 billion names. I must chant 1 billion holy names of the Lord. So he built a small hut. He built a thatched hut in Mayapur. Mayapur, there's nothing there, just it's all field. So he built a hut in Mayapur, and in a hut, so he sat in this hut, and then they started chanting. And he was there for 4 years, chanting for 4 years, until he completed this 1 billion names of the Lord. He was there for 4 years. He could just adjust himself for 4 years alone in this hut. And then after this, then he began to assist his father. At that time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was already getting old. So, and Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, he was assisting his father in publication of the books, the Gaudiya Siddhanta, assisting in publication. And then the 1911 was when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this is when he entered into the he stopped communicating with anyone. It basically took he took Babaji at that time, and he became non-accessible to anyone. And then in 1914, he left the planet in 1914. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he began his mission. So he started. He began his mission. Then he started the preaching. He started the preaching of Nam Sankirtan. And this was in Calcutta when he started. When he began his preaching, this was in Calcutta. And then in 1918, he took the sannyas. So he took the order of sannyas at 90. This is also the time he established the Gaudiya Math. He established Gaudiya Math in 1918, and then with the assistance of some intimate disciples, so the Gaudiya Math was established, and so many young educated men, they all came and joined him. So many very wonderful personalities. And then the momentous occasion came in 1922, when at that time Gaudiya Math was in a full swing in 1922. So one young person, his name was Abhay Charan, living in Calcutta, and this young person, he was a follower of Gandhi. That time, Gandhi was engineering the independence movement of India, because at that time India was under the British rule. And Srila Prabhupada, that time was called Abhay Charan. So he was a follower of Gandhi. But one time his friend, he told him that, oh, I know one sadhu who is a great preacher, let us go and meet him. Let us go and meet this sadhu. So that time, because Baba Charan, he wasn't convinced, because after all, in his home, there's always so many sadhus coming to his home, and all they do is just to come and beg. So he was used to many sannyasi who come to his house and come and beg for donation. So he wasn't really impressed by anyone. He was not impressed at all. But this friend of Abai, he kept insisting that, no, let us go. You will see that this sadhu is different. He's a different person. Just let us go. So due to continuous hugging by this friend, so Abai Chara, Abai Babu, he said, okay, I will go and see him. And then when he was present before Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, so then Bhaktisiddhanta immediately started preaching, and then he said that then the first that came from to his mind, he said that, but you educated young boys, young men, you should, with your knowledge, you should go to the West. You should go and speak this knowledge of Rupa Raghunath. This philosophy of Krishna consciousness, you should take it to the Western people. Since you're educated in English, take it to the Western people so that people can perfect their lives. So when Abai heard this, so Abai replied, say, oh, who's going to listen to us? We are Indian. We are not dependent. We are under the rule of the British. Who's going to listen to an Indian person? And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, of course, reply that Krishna consciousness does not depend on the so-called independence or dependence. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he spoke so forcefully about the notion of so-called independence. After all, in this material world, everyone is under the control of material energy. What is so-called independence? Independence will come when you are free from the influence of Maya. When you are no longer bound by the three modes of material nature, then you will then you get the real independence. So after the talk of Bhaktisiddhanta, so Abai Babu, he said, oh, I've been defeated. He said, now I can say that now the message of Sri Chaitanya Prabhu is now in the right hand. The message, Mahaprabhu's message is in the right hand. So he was convinced by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And then from that time on, he became gradually he became a follower of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. So of course, Gaudiya Math was a great mission that time. So many revolutionary activities was going on. So many many new things which actually define the role of sadhu, the role of a preacher. As a matter of fact, that time in India, when you say sannyasis, the people have a certain view of what sannyasi means. It means sannyasi means someone who walk, no, it doesn't wear shoe, and he has to take a walk. We never take any vehicle and all that. But where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was preaching, because there's this principle of yukta vairagya, he actually defined the principle of what we call yukta vairagya, which means to utilize things for the purpose of service to Krishna. After all, everything belongs to Krishna. So what can we renounce in this material world? What can we give up? Everything belongs to Krishna. So which means the best yukta, the best sannyas is when everything is utilized in the service of Krishna. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta did so many revolutionary things, like riding in a car, which was unknown before. Riding in a car, unknown before for a sadhu. But he did that for preaching purposes. Wearing shoes, so many things. He did a lot of revolutionary things by which the sannyasis are not known to do. So now, of course, is Nitya Leela, which happened in 1937. That was when he actually passed away in January, according to the Western calendar. It was January 1, 1937 when he entered the eternal pastime. January 1, 1937. So which in the lunar calendar, which correspond to today. So normally every year we have different year of celebration of the Disappearance Day. Sometimes, this year was December 7. The next year is going to be the end of December next year, because next year we're having the Purushottam Mass is next year. Purushottam Mass next year, so that's going to be another 30 days extra to the year. So it is going to be the end of next year, probably be December 31 like that next year. So which is going to be basically correspond to the January, because it was the January 1, which was very early morning. That's when the Prabhupada, that's when he left the planet. So some of the thing so we can get into some of the teachings of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. So as I said earlier, that the principle of yukta vairagya, whereby unlike there's two types of renunciation. One is called phagu, or the monkey renunciation, phagu vairagya, and the other one is yukta vairagya. So monkey-like initiation, renunciation is by which you give up something, but the senses is still on the object of the senses. So it's not really a renunciation. It's actually the object is the desire to enjoy the object is still there. Just like many people will take sannyas, but they take sannyas, but without the spirit of sannyas. Becoming a sannyasi, but there's no sannyasi spirit. Like sometimes a person may take sannyas and then be thinking, be saying, oh, sometimes become jealous of the grihastas. Oh, these grihastas, they are so lucky. Oh, they're able to have wife and woman. They're able to have nice food, nice this, that. So they become jealous of the grihastas sometimes. So this is Vagu Faragya, the monkey-like the monkey kind of initiation. But Yukta Vairagya is the acceptance of things, because that, yes, we cannot renounce anything in the material world. Everything belongs to Krishna. We cannot renounce anything. because things belong to Krishna. So whatever is available, we use it for service of Krishna. Was that Nimbanda was that Krishna Sambande, Nimbanda Krishna Sambande, Yukta Vairagya Uchete. Yukta like Krishna Sambande, which means in a relationship with Krishna, the Yukta Vairagya, whereby one utilizes everything for the service of Krishna. Just like I think it was one time when Srila Prabhupada was in when he just began the mission in America. And that time, one drunk person, he brought something to Prabhupada. He was a drunk man, so he just brought some. This man came. That time was 22nd Avenue. So this person came to the door. I think he brought some fruit or something, and then he brought it. He gave to Prabhupada, and then he left. And then Prabhupada commented and said, "Just see, he began a service to Krishna." Prabhupada said, "Just see, he had begun service to Krishna." So if Prabhupada did not say that, "Oh, no," because this guy was drunk, I was a drunk man. He didn't just say, "Oh, get away from here." No, he accepted what he brought, because that's the essence, the Yukta Vairagya. So everything belongs to Krishna and should be used in his service. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he rejected the principle of enjoying things that belong to Krishna. So in his definition of bhakti, Srila Rupa Goswami, he said, Hanya bilasita sunya gyana kamadhyana vritam anukuyena krishnano silanam bhakti uchate. He said that one should other things, that one should give up other things which has nothing to do with Krishna. Anya means other things that do not belong to Krishna. Anya ambila sita sunya. Sunya means negation. That the spirit of enjoyment should be given up. The desire for karma should be given up. Desire for gyan should be given up. But he said, Anokuyena Krishna. No, which means what a devotee wants is what will make Krishna happy. Krishna no silanam. What make Krishna happy? So that's how Sudha Bhakti is defined. Whereby the giving up of everything, of anything that has to be with the personal desire, personal material desire, but the acceptance of those things that will make Krishna happy. Then that's how the bhakti is defined. So in that time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he used he utilized the application of modern technology like printing presses, automobiles, Western dress, and of course in the English language. So he utilized all these things to spread Krishna consciousness. He utilized all this to spread Krishna consciousness. Western press. He established Western press. He was the first one. There was one time when he actually started the daily newspaper. Nadia Prakash, the daily news, one of his, whereby that Godema, they were printing daily newspaper of news. So one person came to him and asked him that, Maharaj, you're having a daily newspaper. What are you going to say? What are you going to put inside the daily newspaper? What is going to put inside? And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta replied that here in Calcutta is a big city, Calcutta. And then in Calcutta is just a city within India, whereby there are many cities in India. And then India is just a country within this planet Earth. And then planet Earth is just one of the innumerable planets within its Mandala. It's just one of the innumerable planets within the universe. Just imagine, we can't even count them. And then within the universe, a particular universe is just one of millions and millions of universes that is coming from the body of Mahavishnu. And then the whole material world itself is just a one small corner of the entire manifestation of the Supreme Lord. So just imagine, now I said that this Calcutta, they have news, there's a daily, the newspaper is there, daily information. If so much information, there's a daily news, and if so much information can be coming from just one city, and this city, Calcutta, is just a tiny speck compared to the whole manifestation of the Supreme. So, and we are coming, our information is coming from the spiritual world, it's not coming from. So just imagine how much more information we can get. Much, there's not even enough. Just imagine. So in this way, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said that yes, the spiritual topic is unlimited. Spiritual topic is unlimited. So he said that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta used to say, his famous word is, he said that we are not dry renunciates. We are servants of the truth. We are not dry renunciates, but we are servants. We are servants of the truth. So he established Brihan Midanga. At this time of Brihan Midanga, this was something that is it's a phrase that was coined by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Brihan Midanga, beat great Midanga. Personal Midanga, like if many of us play Midanga, you play Midanga, you want to play Midanga. So the Midanga that you play can be heard within the walls, or maybe somebody else can hear when you're playing Midanga. But when a big Midanga is playing, which is beyond normal Midanga, it can be heard all over, beyond the town, beyond everywhere. And that is the transcendental literature, the transcendental books. So therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta emphasized the publication of the literatures, the publication of books. That's called the Bidanga, because if one person get all of the book, he'll be reading it, and then he also pass it on to another person. One book that is purchased by someone can be passed all along, can go far and wide. So which means much more than the influence of just regular Midanga. So therefore the Brihan Midanga was emphasized. And one of the order that Srila Prabhupada gave to our Prabhupada was that whenever you get money, you should print book. Whenever you get money, print books. And in their last conversation, when Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, they were together in a Radhakund. This was 1936. And that time, the order was repeated to Prabhupada that yes, you must print books, And then the last letter also which Srila Prabhupada wrote to his Guru Maharaj was that, how can I serve you? Because you have so many servants, and they all serving you wonderfully. But me, I'm just a grihastha householder. I've been unable to render any meaningful service to you. So how can I serve you? And this again was the reply was sent to Prabhupada that if you ever get money, you must print books. You must print books. You must print book in the English language. This message of Mahaprabhu must be spread in the English language. So in this way, the book publication and distribution was very, very highly emphasized by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Now, he mentioned that during his time, there was it was very, very prominent during his time, the caste brahmanas. Because those who are like who claim themselves to be brahmanas, because they were born in the Brahminical lineage, heritage. So, like they are born in the Brahminical family. So, and those persons, they are very, very much proud in their, in their lineage. It's caste Brahman, and to them, it's like no one is qualified to study the Vedic scriptures. No one is qualified except if you are Brahminical. If you're coming from Brahmin family, you have to be born in Brahmin family to be able to study the Vedic scriptures. So it was a very, very rigid system. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he had to confront the system. He confronted the system by using the sound analogy from the scriptures, he established what is a real Brahman. What is a real Brahmana? So there was one book which was published some many years ago called Brahmana and Vaishnava. So this was because it was based on conversation that a lecture that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta delivered, because at that time, this was in the early 1900s, when this Brahman caste, very, very highly prominent in India at that time. So there was a conference that was made. The conference was to establish that, yes, only a Brahman is qualified to study the scriptures. Only a Brahmana can actually, worship the Lord. So in order to diffuse this situation, so Srila Bhaktisiddhanta went there, and for 3 days, he was delivering sound lectures, with sound philosophical points, sound lectures. First of all, he was pressing Brahman and caste. He was pressing the Brahminical, because we have four ashrams, and we have 4 varnas. The Brahman, one of the varnas, the divisions is a Brahman caste, one of the, and that's the topmost. As they say, the Lord Vishnu, he only eats through the mouth of the Brahmanas. I don't know, Lord Vishnu will not eat. Everything is accepted only through the Brahmanas. And of course, the first Brahmana is actually the Brahman himself. He's the first Brahmana. And all the sages, they're all Brahmanas, all the sages. So first, when he began his lecture, he was glorifying the Brahminian caste. The Brahmin was glorifying. You should try to get this very, very wonderful book. It's called Brahman and Vaishnava. And then, after the first day, when he was glorifying the Brahmin caste, using all the scriptural evidence, the Upanishads, Puranas, and all that, and then he started. Then he was emphasizing what is beyond Brahman. That yes, one become a Brahman, and after being a Brahmana, then you become a Vaishnava. That is established that yes, the Vaishnava is higher than a Brahmana. Because what is Brahman? Brahman means, what's Brahman? Brahman to be. That means Brahman means the one who knows Brahman. And who is Brahman? Is Krishna. Brahman is Krishna. Like as Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, he said, Brahmana, he said, I'm the basis of Brahman. I'm the basis of Brahman. He said, Brahmana, he Paristaham. He said, I'm the basis of Brahman. So which means when one knows Brahma, when one knows Krishna, then what does this do? He worship Krishna. By knowing Krishna, he worship Krishna. That's just what it means. So which means one become a Vaishnava after becoming a Brahmana. So Bhaktisiddhanta here to emphasize this greatly, and he defeated all these heretic Brahmanas. He defeated them. They could not say anything, and then they became his enemy. They became the enemy. And then at that time, especially when the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta started the movement, and he was initiating disciples from all classes of society. It doesn't matter where they come from. He was initiating them, and also making them Brahmanas, and also making them sannyasis. He was doing that. And so the Brahmanas society, so it's called, they became very, very envious. And then they were plotting to kill him. They wanted to kill him. There was one time, it was in Mayapur, whereby these Brahmanas, they organized themselves to go and kill Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. That one time when they were going, they organized a very big group to go and attack the Gaudiya Math temple. So that time, one of the disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he has to change, said that he had to change the dress to Bhaktisiddhanta, so that he had Bhaktisiddhanta to wear his dress, and he wore Bhaktisiddhanta's dress, because that time normally brahmacharis they wear white, and only sannyasi wear saffron. So Bhaktisiddhanta, he wore the dress of one of his sannyas disciples, Bhakti Pragyan Kusala Goswami Maharaj. So he wore the dress so that when these people came to the temple, they could not find him, they could not recognize him. And then there are some other dacoits. They've paid some people. They paid some people to go and kill Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. But these people, they went to the temple and informed Srila Bhaktisiddhanta that we have been paid to come and kill you. We have been paid to come and kill you. So many threat was made to his life by all these so-called Brahmana. Actually, it was mentioned in the scriptures that the so-called Brahmana, they were actually descendants of Rakshasas. That in the Kali Yuga, the Brahmanas, they will take birth in the family of Rakshasas. The so-called Brahmana in the Kali Yuga. There's one verse. Let me check. This verse was spoken by Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, he said, if I can find it. Okay. So Lord Shiva said, Rakshasaham Kalim Astritya Jayanti Brahmana Yonis. Brahmana Yonisu. Yoni means family. Utpana Brahmana Kule Badante Sutyan Krisham. That in Kali Yuga, demons, the Rakshasa, will take birth in the families of Brahmanas to harass those real persons who are conversant with the Vedic way of life. This is what is said, that the so-called Brahmanas, they're just descendants of the of demons. So I live here in India, so you see them, they're here all the time. So many of them are there. They say, oh, we are Brahmanas, we are Brahmanas, and all that. And at the same time, many of them, they are addicted to so many sinful activities. So there are many events in that time. The argument, and of course, we know that in the Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna said that there's there's a one key verse in the scripture. It said, "Now Sudha Bhagavat Bhaktaha." That a devotee of the Lord is never Sudha. The devotee is always a devotee, and devotee is above being a Brahmana. In the 11th canto Bhagavatam also, when Lord Krishna was instructing Uddhava. So Lord Krishna was explaining the different occupations of the four divisions, four Varna, the occupation of the of these Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudra, but the Brahmanical, the Vaishnav is always transcendental. That's the real location. That a Vaishnava is above his occupation is transcendental. It's not within the modes of material nature. It's always transcendental. So the Lord is explaining this in the chapter in the Uddhava Gita, or it's in the chapter 13 of the Uddhava Gita. And of course, then the real application of the Vaidna of the Daiva Varnashrama, which was established by explained by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. What is real Daiva Varnashrama? Daiva means what is beyond this modes of material nature. It's not something that is of this world. So he practically apply this by, so he award the sacred thread, which is that we have, to anybody to disciple from any background. It doesn't matter. And and then because he said, what's that? We have just as by touching a stone, by touching the touchstone to an iron rod, to an iron, the iron will, by touching the touchstone, the iron will transform into gold. So similarly, also a person can change through the proper initiation. When there's a proper initiation, the most crude person can be transformed into a saintly person. Just as we read in the scriptures how many personalities like the hunters, how they became great devotees, the dacoits, how they became great devotees by contact into a pure devotees of the Lord. So this is all there. In that through the contact of a pure devotees, the most vile person can be transformed into the great personalities. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he proved all these things. And then he will often okay, his analogy is that it's just as a doctor's son is not automatically a doctor, but must study medicine to qualify. So a Brahmana's son is not automatically a Brahmana unless he possesses Brahmanical qualities and devotion. So unless you have a Brahmanical quality, and unless you're a devotee, a bhakta, you're not really a Brahmana. Because a Brahmana is not by quality, not by caste, not by birth. So this was rightly established by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. And the essence is emphasis on the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this teaching was all based on the writings of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught Rupa Goswami, also Sanatana Goswami, when he was traveling to Vrindavan, and also come back from Vrindavan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he personally taught Rupa and Sanatana Goswami in the science of bhakti, in the science of Krishna consciousness, and not just ordinary Krishna consciousness. We're talking of in terms of the Ray Bhakti. This is called Raganuga Bhakti, the spontaneous aspect of devotional service. As Lord Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, that when many people are worshiping me, but those who are worshiping me, they want something. Like people worship God because they want something from God. That's why people worship God. But who want to give God something? Who want to give him something? That's only fine among the eternal residents of Vrindavan. They want to give God something. They want to feed Krishna, you know. And sometimes, you know, they may say some unpleasant word to Krishna. They may say some unpleasant word to him. They say, oh, Krishna, you are a thief. You come to steal butter. They say so many unpleasant words. And Krishna said, this word of the Brajabasi is much, much pleasing to me than the prayers of the Vedas. In the Vedas, you find so many Purusha Shuktas, you know, so many unlimited, you want to find the Vedas, Samaveda, all of the Rig Veda, all of them is there. But the Lord said, all these prayers which have been chanted by great sages, great devout Brahmanas, you know, this, they're calling upon me, this does not attract me, does not ascend. I'm very attracted with the cutting words of my devotees in Vrindavan. When they chastise me with their word, I'm much more attracted by that. So basically, it's Prem Bhakti. The Lord is attracted to Prem Bhakti, not by Vaidhi. Vaidhi means rules and regulations. Rules and regulation does not really give bliss. The bliss is not there. What comes when there's raganuga, when there is like spontaneous, ecstatic, loving devotion towards the Lord? That's what brings the real bliss. When we say Ananda Maya Bhyasa means that blissfulness that comes from bhakti. This comes from rendering the raganuga bhakti. So that's the main point of Rupa Goswami's teaching, Rupa Sanatana Goswami's teaching. And it's the embodiment of this teaching that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta actually gave this conception of Rupa Goswami's teaching. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he gave that. And then, of course, there are many things. There are many things that is, yes, of course, the desire, the service to Radha Krishna under the guidance of Srimati Radharani's maidservant. But at the same time, he also gave a warning also. There's a warning. Because, as I said, there's a ladder of devotion. The ladder must be there. There's not something that can be artificially done. So he thought that one cannot simply jump to the top of the tree. So like, for example, you are climbing a tree with a ladder. So you have to go, you know, step by step. You have to go for the trunk and then through the climbing and then ultimately before you can reach the top of the tree. So if you want to reach the top of the tree, you can't just, you know, jump there. So similarly also, especially when we are so polluted, so we have to begin from, you know, from this, Vaidhi process. We have to begin from there. We have to begin by following the rules and regulations. The Guru give us initiation. So we are following the rules and then we are serving. And by continuously serving under the guidance of the Guru, the bona fide Guru, so continuously serving. So ultimately, that will be what we call anatta-nivriti. Anatta-nivriti, when there's a cleansing, the cleansing of the heart. Because if you are still attached to your material senses, you can never really relish the fine aspect of devotional service. If you are still attached, you are full of anarthas, you are full of bad habit. So relishment of bhakti will not come. The real taste for ruchi, the real taste for bhakti will not come. But when there is anatta-nivriti, which means when there is the eradication of anarthas, or the nonsense habit, bad habit, after they all remove, whereby one is no longer attracted to any good things of this material world. And one no longer find anything desirable, pleasurable in this material world except what is good for Krishna and his devotees. So when there is the eradication of the anatta, then the taste for bhakti start coming. So that when you are chanting, when you are chanting the Lord's name, you don't want to stop chanting. It's not that we are told to chant 16 rounds, and at the moment 16 rounds is finished, then we throw our bead back on the side. No. You chant the Krishna's name, you don't want to stop chanting Krishna's name. For one who has actually developed taste for the Lord. One time, and one of the prayer by Rupa Goswami in the Lalita Madhava, no, is this Bidagda Madhava, is that Krishna's name is so sweet. Krishna's name is so sweet that we feel like we want to have thousands and thousands of tongue, of mouth to chant the Krishna's name, because the name is so sweet to chant. And hearing Krishna's kata, talking about Krishna is so nectarian that we want to have millions and millions of ears to hear. So when the whole body becomes so energized to simply want to chant and hear about Krishna, so at that time, the whole body is actually become completely transformed into a spiritual body. But that stage will come only when we are completely free from the anarthas. That stage will come. So therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he actually strongly criticized those who try to bypass the instruction, especially the nectar devotion, Upadishramita, because right from the beginning, nectar devotion is such a very, the Upadishramita, nectar of instruction, such a very wonderful scriptures. It has only 11 verses. But those 11 verses, it began with Vajra Vega, Mansakuda Jiva Vega. It's in terms of giving up the bad taste, the bad things. The Vajra Vega, Mansakuda Vega, Jiva Vega, Uda respected Dira, all those different pulling of the senses of the body, your tongue, your ears, all these things. Your belly, your genitals, all this thing. How one has to become free from all the pulling of these of the bodily organs. And then from there, then the next verse said that whereby the Prajapa, Yamograna, that one must give up Prajapas, one must, it's like Rupa Goswami, he gave up the essence in terms of how what one has to give up. And then before we start gradually coming to Prem Bhakti, whereby, Radhati Patigrinati, was the Radhati, was it book? That in the beginning, how one has to offer the obeisances to another devotees, one accept obeisances, how one has to, Guna Akyati Prechati, how one has to ask questions, and then revealing one's mind, and then how Bhakti Bhujayate Saiva, which means offering prasad and accepting prasad. Then he said, Savidi Priti Lakshanam. He said, these are the ornaments of loving devotional service, of loving relationship among the devotees. So it begins from the hard regulations, then to start coming to in terms of what devotees must do, how devotees must relate among each other. And then this goes on all along, go along. And then by the time you reach text 11, you find, how you find yourself in Radhakund. How you find yourself that, Radhakund is such a water that is so dear to Krishna, so very, very dear to Krishna. Radhakund, such a good, it's called the loving prem. It's a liquid, is a liquid Radharani herself, the Radhakund. So, which means by the time we get to Radhakund, so this nectar devotion, nectar of instruction book, it takes us from the beginning to the end goal of life. So this was taught by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, whereby he gave us warning that yes, don't jump, you have to go gradually. So which basically means you have to have the guidance of a competent person. You have to have the guidance, and then of course the and also that time also there are so many unscrupulous practitioners. There are many so-called we call them sahajas, practical sahajas. Those persons who actually imitate that, yes, they've made sufficient advancement and now they are great devotees. They are now relishing the Radha Krishna Lila. They are relishing it. They are now shedding tears. They are exhibiting so many ecstatic bodily symptoms, which are explained in the Nectar of Devotion and also Jalani Lamani. So there you find many of those personalities there. There are so many upper sampradayas. We call them upper sampradaya. Sakibeki, so many of them are there who actually artificially try to show people that, oh, they are now great devotees without really making the real advancement. So many of those persons are there by which Bhaktisiddhanta also had to deal with. So which means not only does he have to deal with the impersonalists, but he also have to deal with those pretenders who think themselves to be great devotees, but they're actually sense enjoyers. They actually sense enjoyers, but they think themselves to be great devotees. So, and then of course we can go on and on, because I know that our time is going. We can go on and on, but the main thing is like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, whereby he was that yes, it's good to do solitary bhajan, which is it's called a Nijana bhajan, but at the same time, the need of the age is Nam Sankirtan. The need of the age is Nam Sankirtan. So he thought that Hari Bhajan worship means to help others to become devotees of the Lord. And one of his famous prayer, prayer is the famous word is Prana Ache, say to Pracha. That who has got life? A person, a devotee who can preach it, he's the one who has got life. So which means if you find yourself, you're unable to preach the holy name of Krishna, then you don't have life. And a non-preacher is as good as a dead person. So he said, Prana Ache, was a Prana Ache Jara say to Pracha. A person who has got life, he preaches the holy name of Krishna. So therefore, preaching the lost the Mahaprabhu's message is the most essential, because that's why Mahaprabhu has come to preach this message. It's most essential to preach. So, but in famous song is that Jivedoya was Namruchi Jivedoya Namruchi, which means that one must have taste for the holy name of the Lord. And at the same time, Jivedoya means be merciful to the jivas, be merciful to the living entities. So a devotee, he has taste for the holy name of the Lord, constantly, and at the same time is very merciful to the other, and he shows mercy by preaching what people have forgotten. By preaching that what people have forgotten, then he shows mercy. And Krishna says, no one is more dear to me than one who preaches my message. That is then the Bhagavad Gita. God said, no one is more dear to me than one who preaches about me. You preach about Krishna, you become very dear to Krishna. So this is what Bhaktisiddhanta, he came to teach us. So he gave us a strict warning. We should not be like the Prakriti Sahajas, those who take things for granted. And we have to follow strictly the footsteps of the great acharyas. We have to follow their footsteps. It's just like every day, many of us sing bhajans of the acharyas, the song which I've left behind. So we have to be absorbed in the mood of the acharya. We have to be so if you want to practice Krishna consciousness, we follow that. We follow them. If we follow the previous acharyas, what they have given, we follow their ways, then the success will be there. we actually have the bliss, the happiness will come. Devotional service is a life of happiness, it's a life of joy. But to get that, we have to do the right thing. We do the right thing by following exactly what the previous churches have done. This was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, this one he has given us, and the same thing was given us by Srila Prabhupada. And his true followers, so they also doing the same thing, and we have to follow the same thing if we want to attain the ultimate goal of life. Otherwise, it will always remain a long distance, difficult to attain. We'll be complaining all the time, be whining all the time, why this, why that, why that. Just follow what they are giving us. So therefore, we are celebrating today this remembrance of the disappearance of the great Acharya, so that we can be in this absorption, this consciousness that yes, we have to follow them. These are great personalities who have attained the ultimate goal of life, and we can also attain the same thing. That's why they came here. They didn't come here for another purpose. That yes, they came to give us this gift. And we can take it. We should take the gift. We take it by just do as they did. Then we also attain the ultimate goal of life. So thank you very much for listening. I'm very, very grateful myself that I was able to say something about the life and teachings of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. So I thank everyone very much. So if anybody want to ask or say something, you can please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Sri Srila Prabhu. Of course, as always, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, it's so special that we can never end singing his glories. So it is not surprising that you spend this much time speaking on his glories. And that is even less than the introduction. But thank you so much. So dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, reflections you may want to ask or share, please indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute to ask your question or share your reflections or memories of his divine grace. Hare Krishna.
So, yeah, is Narayani Devi? She put her hand up.
Oh no, she was clapping. Okay,
Oh.
she did. Narayani, yes. Narayani Devi, you may unmute. Are you still there, Narayani Devi?
You can unmute yourself.
Well, let me see.
Oh, I think she's trying. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Turn up your volume so that we can hear you. Maybe she's not speaking to the mic or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Prabhuji, before she comes on, I have this question. Okay, go ahead, Narayani.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I'm sorry, I pressed it by accident.
Oh, okay, Hare Krishna. Well, Prabhuji, I have this question concerning Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Can you share with us like exactly how he left his body? I mean, this is, as Vaishnavas, we are not very much interested in the disappearance of the Guru. But I also would like to know, like, under what circumstances did he leave his body? Like, we know how Srila Prabhupada left his body, but I don't think myself, maybe others know, but I would like to know how he left. I heard Srila Prabhupada said that his guru, that is Bhaktisiddhanta, left his body earlier because some of the disciples were not behaving right. So he did not leave his body in a very advanced age. If I'm not mistaken, he was like in his late 60s, thereabout.
He was 62.
Okay.
62.
Okay.
Several times, he always said that this material world is not a place for gentlemen. That's everyone is crazy in the everyone is mad in the material world. It's just not a place for gentlemen. So therefore, I will not, I'm not going to. I will not stay because the material world, everyone is mad. So, so Srila Bhaktisiddhanta actually left early. So the few days before his disappearance, on December 31st, stroke January 1st, the early January, it's like around just stroke after the midnight of December 31st on 1936. So that time, he was a little bit sick for a few days, like he was having like some fevers and all that. And then so he was surrounded by his disciples, and then he told the disciples to sing bhajans. He specifically to want his disciple to sing the Rupa Goswami's the prayer to Rupa Goswami. Sirupa Manjari Pada Se Guna Sampada. This very, very, very special prayer to Rupa Goswami, written by Narottam Das Thakur. So he told one disciple to sing this song, and, which is basically is a song that enables one to enter into Manjari Bhav, because this actually the Manjari Bhav is the epitome of his teaching. So he had one disciple to sing this prayer, and then he gave the final instructions to all the disciples. In my book, Amrita Vani, which I published, if you have that book, if you don't have it, in my book, these instructions are listed. There are 108 instructions of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And the last instructions are there in this book. Actually, I published about 4 or 5 books of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Amrita Vani, the Patramita, the Saraswati Sanlapa, the Bhaktita Valley, yes, Ari Bhakti Kapalati. I have about 5 or 6 books I published about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's teachings, mainly his teachings, like that, conversations. So after this giving instruction, then he hand up he closed his earthly pastimes. Then he entered into the Nitalila. Yes, he was 62 years old that time. And actually, many great personalities, they don't spend too much time in the world. When they come, they leave. They don't spend so much time. Many great personalities. Sankaracharya was he only stayed for 32 years. Srila Chaitanya Prabhu himself, he stayed for 48 years. And Vallabhacharya stayed for 48 years. So many great personalities, they don't stay for too long. It's only only some few rare ones we stayed for much longer time. Like Madhavacharya, he stayed for almost 100 years. Ramanujacharya also stayed for almost 100 years. But the Rup Sanata, they didn't stay for too long also. They were all stay not too long, but maybe early 70s. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was like, I think he stayed for I think he was up to 74 years or something like that. Either 64 or 74 years old. So the great person, no, 64 years old. From 1938 to 2014, what is that? No, 1838 to 1914. How many years is that?
That would be 70 something.
74. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. That was the time that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, stayed with us.
So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was from 1872 to 1936. So that is 62.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and like that.
Mm.
They didn't stay too long.
Well, Shriman ISVARA Prabhu, please, you may unmute. Hare Krishna.
Haribo Vara Prabhu, you can go ahead.
Jai Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Jai.
All glory to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glory to you, all glory to the assembled devotees.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very wonderful. There's something I really want to get clear. When we hear that the scripture say it, you just also mentioned that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said it, that the Vaishnavas are higher than Brahmanas.
Yeah.
And it is easy for us in ISKCON to take that statement for granted, take it on the surface. Because in the milieu where Brahmanas are Brahmanas, and I'm not talking about Bhat Brahmana, I'm talking about those who officiate as Brahmins. In that milieu, original milieu, where people function as Brahmins, when you tell them that Vaishnavas are superior, they could understand probably, because in that milieu, the Brahmanas function as priests, and as a priest, they do all kind of puja, which may not necessarily be Vishnu or Adi puja. So they can understand when somebody is considered higher, superior to them, as being Vaishnava. Okay? But they understand their role as Brahmins. They know. And I'm saying this from a little understanding I have. From the Brahmanas in India, many of them who do all kind of pujas, but they're Brahmins. They do Kali Puja, they do all kind of pujas. Okay? So when you say that Vaishnavas is superior, they can understand. But then we have our own new communities in the Western world. And then we also repeat that statement, Vaishnavas are superior to Brahmanas. But a lot of us have practically no understanding of the engagement of Brahmanas. I mean, I'm saying in most cases, many of us do not even come closer to what is called Brahmi. But we revel in that statement that Vaishnavas are superior to Brahmanas. So I just want a clarification. I also had somebody, one guru was speaking once, and he said, here in India, the whole Brahmin population maybe is about 2%. He said, but in ISKCON, everyone is a Brahmana. So he was making this kind of joking comparison. So this is what I'm saying, that we may have the tendency of thinking Vaishnavas are superior to Brahmanas, but then in the real case, most of us in the Western world who become Krishna conscious may not even qualify as yet as Brahmanas, but we consider ourselves as Vaishnavas. So that's my problem.
Actually, a real Brahmana is one who knows Krishna. And the person who knows Krishna, he worships Krishna. So, yes, the notion that a Brahmana, a Vaishnava is higher than the Brahmana, to be a Brahman is not honorary thing. And to be a Vaishnava is not honorary thing, because you become a Vaishnava after being a Brahminical. They become Vaishnava. Like in chapter 12, the qualities of Brahmanas, the chapter 12 of the Bhagavad Gita, the quality of the Brahmanas are explained there, beloved Krishna. Hereby it's peaceful, it's shanta, so many, it's control of the senses, all the qualities are described in the chapter 12 of the Bhagavad Gita. When Lord Krishna, chapter 12, chapter 13, when Lord Krishna was talking to Arjuna. So, these are the things, actually, we cannot really take it for granted. To be a Vaishnava is not an honorary thing, to be a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is the one, who has, he's seen the law, it's not an ordinary thing to be a Vaishnava. We can call ourselves Vaishnava, but how much Vaishnavas are we when there's so much enviousness within our heart, when we are full of arrogance, so how much Vaishnavas are we? You know, actually, we rather call ourselves demons. Actually, even some demons, they have much higher quality than we. We call ourselves, you know, Vaishnavas. So to be a Vaishnava is not an ordinary thing. To be a Vaishnava, it's not a cheap thing. But we take this thing for granted to be a Vaishnava. But now, as they say, when a blind person sometimes is called Padmalochan. Padmalochan means lotus eye. You know, a blind person. So when you call a blind person a lotus eye, does that make him, you know, somebody who has got a real lotus eye? But you just call him a lotus eye person because he's blind. So similarly also, we may be addressed as Vaishnavas, even though we are no more than a blind person. Because Mahaprabhu, how did he define a Vaishnava? He said the one who is Trinapi Suniche Nataru Apisashna Amanina Manadina Kitanya Sadhari. Those instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which he gave in the Sastakam. So until we start embodying those instructions that Mahaprabhu gave, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. So it's like, how can we call it ourselves a Brahmana? There's what we call Vaishnava Praya, Vaishnava-like, and hoping to become one, to become a Vaishnava. So we are Vaishnava-like, not actually Vaishnava.
Yeah, good. Okay, a follow-up to that same question. Thank you. Vaishnava Praya, that's better. Okay, like you also mentioned that we are servant of the truth.
Yeah.
That Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, we are servant of the truth. The servant of Krishna, servant of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That is very loaded. And of course, I don't want to go too deep into it, but
it is very loaded.
We say that we're servant of the truth. And in India, the Hindus, they say that a Brahmana would rather die than to speak lie.
Yes.
To speak on truth. A Brahmana would rather die than to speak on truth.
Yeah.
That a Brahmana would rather die than to covet somebody else's property or something that belongs to somebody else. I mean, these are some of the way, that's what I'm saying, the milieu, in the area where people understand what Brahmana means, that means a priest, a representative of God, or of the divinities, not even, supreme God, but it's representing the divinities. It's a high priest, just like in African tradition. When you know a high priest, people give him a lot of respect because there are certain things that he will not descend to do. So, as servants of the truth, and as Brahmins who are like servants of the truth, but then we see how much we compromise with the truth, even though we claim to be Vaishnava priests.
A Brahmana is a perfect gentleman. He's the most. If you see a Brahmana, if you're with a Brahmana, you feel a total peace with yourself, because look at the way Lord Krishna himself, he served the Brahmanas. When the Brahmana says something, Lord Krishna will not go against that. Even Lord Krishna said, if my hand offend a Brahmana, I'm ready to cut off that hand. So being the real Brahmana is not easy. It's not a cheap thing. Not talk of being a Vaishnava. The way the Brahmanas are, we should read by quality. As they say, we should not talk of a Brahmana in Kali Yuga, because as I read, the Brahmana in Kali Yuga, they're just Rakshasas. They're not really Brahmanas. The real Brahmanas are very, 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 very minute. They're very, very rare. Not too many of them. The so-called Brahmana, I live here in India, so-called just a bunch of guys who are just greedy like anything. They're greedy for anything. Like one of my friend here, Great Pandey, he said that in this age of Kali, normally we say Kalo Sura Sambhava, but actually in this age of Kali, everyone is a Vaishya, Kali Vaishyas, because everybody wants money for anything. The so-called Brahmanas, they want money. Kalo Vaishya Sambhava. So the so-called Brahmanas just as greedy for anything. They want to change the so-called mantra. So you give me this money, I'll give you this mantra. It's just nonsense. The real Brahmana are very, very rare thing. We heard about a person like Chanakya Pandit, great Brahmana, He was the prime minister of the king of Chandragupta in India some more than 2,000 years ago. But he was a prime minister. He did not take a single penny he did not take a single salary. He did not take a single penny because he was a Brahmana. You know, he did not take a single salary from the king and all that. So, but the Brahmanas are very, very rare thing. And because the real Brahmana, they are very, very powerful people. And that's why people cannot offend them, because if you offend the Brahmana, your life can be finished just like that, if you offend the real Brahmana. But the so-called Brahmana we have nowadays, they're just people who are just there to, just in name only, basically, just in name only, not in reality, just in name only. And of course, if you become a Vaishnava, it's really, but that's why I say by following a Vaishnava, we can become Vaishnava. If we follow them, we follow their footsteps, we follow their teaching, we serve them nicely, we do as they do, then they will benedict us with their quality. So in this way, being a Vaishnava is much better, is much higher. But it has to come about if we follow the Vaishnava, we have to follow them. We have to follow, which means we have to do as they did. I know that to follow is very, very, it's not easy to follow, but it's how do we follow? We have to become simple ourselves, like simplicity, as this a Vaishnava is very simple. When we become very simple in our dealings, in our heart, then we can follow the great Vaishnavas. And when we follow the great Vaishnavas, then we become one. Yeah, as you said, those who do a kind of jagadis, that's occupational thing, which they do. That's what some occupational things. But again, those of us who are trying to follow these great acharyas, like Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Prabhupada, and the previous acharya, we want to follow them so that we can get that goal. We can get that gift of love of Krishna, which they've brought for us. We can receive that gift. They will receive that gift only if you follow them, if you follow as they are giving us. And it's available to anyone. It's available for everyone. No one is excluded. And to the extent we embrace their teaching, follow it, to that extent we will get the reciprocation to that extent.
Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, especially for the last comment you made, because I was going to try to rebut a little bit about what His Grace Srimad Prabhu said, because we all believe, or I should say, we all know that a river is bigger than a stream. And so if a river dries up and then the stream floods over its bank, then we may say, oh, the stream is bigger than the river, but it's only momentarily. If the scriptures themselves say that a Vaishnava is higher than a Brahmana, then how can we say otherwise? Because in today's world, Vaishnavas, those who call themselves Vaishnavas, are not living up to that. It does not diminish that statement in the scriptures. It is just that those who are calling themselves Vaishnavas are not living up to the standard. Just like Ishwara Prabhu, you said, because I believe, this is just my assumption also, I believe if you bring the best Brahmana and you bring the best Vaishnava together, the best Brahmana is nowhere close to the best Vaishnava. We know Uddhava is a very advanced devotee, but when he went to Vrindavan, he was asked to study under the gopis. So there are levels. And I do not think we can at any point minimize the status of a Vaishnava comparing him to a Brahmana. No matter how a Brahmana may become, he is nowhere close to the best of the Vaishnavas. That is my notion, and that is what I stand by. I don't know if Ishwara Prabhu, you have something to say in that regard, or Shrimara Prabhu has something to say in that regard. After that, I have a question about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, as I say in my speech, there's this book called Brahmana and Vaishnav. You can search the internet, you can find the book. Try to get a book. It's by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. It's called Brahmana and Vaishnav. It is shattered all the illusions, everything.
Okay.
Get the book.
All right. Thank you.
And one last thing.
Yes.
Thank you for that comment. Thank you for the comment. I'm not saying that Brahmanas are superior. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that we should change it. But I'm just saying that we make use of terminologies, semantics, on the surface, which we are far away from. And that notion is what I'm trying to draw our attention to. That
I don't think he said that Brahmanas. I don't think he said that you said no. I don't think he said that you said that. No.
Okay.
It wasn't referring that way.
Okay.
It was simply making emphasis on the.
Sure. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Well, Prabhuji, I have this question. We all know how special Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada was. And Srila Prabhupada himself oftentimes would say, my spiritual master was not an ordinary guru. Now, we know from the Bhagavad Gita teachings, and you said it so many times, if you touch a rod to, I think, Chintamani stone, touchstone, I think that is your publication's name, touchstone. It turns to gold. But my question is, from Krishna's time, when we follow the guru-disciple chain of disciplic succession, all the way to Srila Prabhupada, our Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, it seems to me that they are all eternally liberated souls, pure devotees who came to revive the devotional service. Where is the example of somebody as useless as myself, who also became an acharya on our line before Srila Prabhupada's coming to the West?
Well, all these great personalities, they all
eternally
liberated. So which means we, in this, we actually have the special privilege that we, these are special personalities. They're not conditioned. They are never conditions. Like Prabhupada said that, I said there's never a time in my life that I'm forgetful of Krishna. So yeah, they are eternally liberated souls. And there is one prayer by one Vaishnava called Devakinandana Das. It's very nice, wonderful prayer. Let me just look for it here. It's Devakinandana Das, whereby he was praising the Vaishnavas. Praising the Vaishnavas. And then he said, I just sing some few lines of it. Some few lines. He said, Brindabana Basi Jata, Vaishnava Ragana, Patame Bandana Kori, Sabara Charana, Nilachala Basi Jata, Mahaprabhu Gana, Bhumite Gopodiya Bandam, Sabara Charana, Nabadvipi Basi Jata, Mahaprabhu Bhakta, Sabara Charana Bandam, Hoiya Nuraktam, Mahaprabhu Bhakta Jata Goda Desha Striti Sabara Charana Banda Koriya Pranati. Just some translation whereby it's saying, first of all, I offer glorifications to the feet of all the Vaishnavas. It's I offer glorification to the feet of all the Vaishnavas, praising of all Mahaprabhu's Nilachala's associates. I prostrate at their feet. I pray for loving attachment at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu's Navadip devotees, the Bhaktas. I offer pranams to the feet of Mahaprabhu's Godadesh devotees. So this Vaishnava, they say, with upraised arms, I pray to the feet of four Gaurangas Bhaktas, Vaishnav, in whichever country they may reside. So, and they say, whereby praying Vaishnava to all categories of Vaishnava. He said, yeah, they say, he said, he doesn't, he said, the Vaishnava are coming from any countries, any race, anyway. He said, our family obeisance to all of them are. So, which means that actually in the Chaitanya Bhagavat also, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, he was saying that the Mahaprabhus, in order for Mahaprabhu to spread his movement in this age of Kali, he actually had his devotees to take birth in different parts of the world, in different races to take birth, so that at one point, all those devotees, they will all come together at one point. So, which means that, yes, we have known that we read about this personality who are eternal associates of the Lord. But at the same time, we don't know among these, because devotees are taking birth in anywhere, in every country, in every race, doesn't matter, Europe, Africa, anywhere, they're taking birth in anywhere. And then they are coming together to be part of the Nam Sankirtan. So which means we really don't know, who is who among all the Vaishnavas, or among all the devotees. We don't know, who is who. And that's why it's always better to actually offer obeisance to the Vaishnavas. It's always good to not be judgmental by the Vaishnavas, because we don't know who is there. Okay, this great personality, they are liberated souls. But at the same time, we don't know who is also liberated among us. Because the main thing is that there's this, as they say, familiarity in the breeds contempt, as they say, Because, after all, we all join together, we chant together, It's like, oh, who are you? We're just some rascal, That's the way we look at each other. Oh, you come from this family, this race, that race, this. So that's the way we look at each other. Which means we don't notice. Maybe among us, maybe one of those pure devotees who may be an eternal associate of the Lord. But it so happened that we don't give ourselves time. We don't give ourselves time in order to recognize such devotees. But, we basically operate based on what appeals to our senses. That's what we operate in. And we judge one another, we're judgmental. But the Lord is very kind, actually. I know, like Maharaja used to say that the universe is there, and Lord Krishna is maintaining the universe, because there's always a pure devotees in the universe. There's always a pure devotees. He said that if there's no pure devotees here, why would the Lord maintain this world? Why will he maintain it? The Lord is maintaining this world only because of the presence of the pure devotees. So because of the presence of the pure Vaishnava, the Lord is maintaining the universe. Otherwise, why will he be maintaining the universe? Such a useless place where everyone is opposed to him. Why will he be maintaining it? But he's maintaining it because there's always presence of a Vaishnava, pure Vaishnava. That's why the Lord is maintaining this. So, it's not that the pure devotees, liberated soul, they're there only in the past. They're also here in the present also. We just don't have to see them. But they are here, And they're the one who are making things auspicious. That's all. We just may not see them. That's all.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Hare Krishna. It's just like Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna does not only appear in India, he appears other places also. Even though I do not know where, but that is what Srila Prabhupada says. Maybe he sends or he himself goes. But sorry, Srimad Prabhu, yes, please, you may unmute.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you very much, Prabhu Ji. Thank you for that answer. It reminds me, just like on your last note, Gurudev Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, in his famous 1979 Mayapur lecture, when he took sannyas, very, very powerful lecture. You said, if you look around, you can see Prahlad. If you look around, you can see all these devotees. If you look around, he was saying like that. You look around, you can still see Prahlad. So, yeah, thank you for that. Now, the question I want to ask, sometimes back, one Prabhupada disciple, I think Medavi Prabhu, yes, he spoke here, and very nice lecture he gave. But I didn't have the time to ask him a question on one statement he made. And it's relevant to what we're discussing now. He said, in some Sampradaya, the founder Acharya is the savior, and all others are just, to help to bring people to him.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if is that supported by scripture, or is it a way that gradually, the Ritivik thing is gradually, entering into ISKCON also, that, people are beginning to believe that. Because scripture, I don't know whether there's scriptural fact to the point that, because even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was quoted as saying, I think it was him who quoted, Prabhupada, that you cannot jump. You cannot jump. Yeah, it was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He was saying, no, you cannot. They were asking him that Jesus Christ as a Messiah for the whole world. And he said, no, he's a Messiah for his time. You cannot jump. I remember that was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati who said like that. So now, for a Prabhupada disciple to come and say that in some Sampradaya, their founder Acharya is actually the savior, and all others who come just have to bring, other future disciples to him. I don't know how much that is supported by scripture.
It's something that is started being propagated in ISKCON, that the real savior is the founder Acharya, and everybody simply, like assisting. All the, it means the gurus, whatever is saying, they're simply assisting the founder Acharya. Of course, they give the example of the Sri Sampradaya, in this case, the Ramanuja Sampradaya, whereby the Acharya is seen as Ramanuja, and everybody is basically, all those gurus who initiate, they didn't so on behalf of the Ramanuja Acharya.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they say. So in one sense, because it's actually rhetoric system, but of course there's no validity, there's no scriptural validity to that. Now, because in our society we have so many bad experiences is going on, so many bad experiences from the time when I joined, many of us joined when they were from the Zona Acharya's time up to today, whereby we've had number case of gurus come and go, falling and all that stuff. So the gurus have all kind of bad experiences. And especially nowadays, all kind of persons are becoming guru. And sometimes somebody become guru and become so amazing. Now it's like we have more devotees becoming guru than devotees joining. This person is good. I say, my God, this person is good, now that person is good. But no, it's so because of all these things, what's going on. So many devotees are basically come to this conclusion. Actually, yes, you can be guru, you can be guru. But who's the real guru is the founder Acharya, who's actually delivering, the people. So, but of course, to me, I cannot say that let's throw away the baby out with the bathwater, as they say.
Mm.
Like just because of the bad experience, therefore we nullify the whole, the whole thing. The system may always have to be there. And the principle, eternal principle, have to be there. And we cannot eliminate that eternal principle. But at the same time, devotees have to be, genuine with themselves. Why you want to become guru? So that because somebody is good, so they also want to become guru. So to me, that's just artificial. But it has just become a thing because being a guru means is one to have what we call is a perfect retirement plan, whereby your retirement is guaranteed. So, one is just of course very, very complex. It's not a simple thing. It's very, very complex, especially what is going on in our society now. It's very, very complex. And also just like Banu Swami especially, whereby he's actually advocating now that, yes, let's recognize Shiksha Gurus, not just Diksha Guru, but let's put Shiksha Gurus on the same level as the Diksha Guru, so that it's not that the Guru who's recognized, who's worshipped, is the one who is giving the Diksha, but also there are many, many devotees who are actually doing Siksha, who have no intention to initiate anyone, but they are doing Siksha. They are giving instruction. They are helping you to advance the Krishna consciousness. So many, many of those devotees should be recognized. They should have the same recognition as those devotees who have been certified as Diksha Guru. Because in our philosophy, Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru is the same. There's no, it's right there in Chitta This, as a matter of fact, our line is a Siksha line, our line. So now, this devotee, I don't think I met him before, who is telling you that, okay, the Sampradaya Acharya, or the Guru disciples go to him. But the point of who's our Sampradaya Acharya is Lord Brahma. He's our first Acharya. So who do you want to claim to be the Sampradaya Acharya? Because after all, we are coming from Brahma Madhya. Is it Lord Brahma? Or is it Madhavacharya? Or is it Chaitanya Prabhu? Or is it Goswami? So it is Sampradaya Acharya. The Sampradaya Acharya is, like that. So that is not a good argument itself. That's not a good argument. And some of this discussion we've been having, that of the problem that our organization have been having, so many this falling down and so many artificial gurus, that's also some devotees are propagating that. Then really, the real guru, the one who's delivering, is the founder Acharya, is actually the deliverer, not the person who is basically going around and I'm giving you an instruction. It's not the deliverer. So, it's a very, very sensitive topic, very, very sensitive topic. Yeah. And many devotees are accepting that, are looking that way also. Many devotees are taking that. And many devotees says, yes, this the real deliverer is Prabhupada. And everybody else just assists, everybody just taking it, take disciple and turn into Prabhupada. But at the same time also, if that's the case, then we are also looking at what we call hypocrites. You know that you're not the real guru, so why are you calling yourself guru then? If you know that you're not the deliverer, then why are you taking all the glorification, all the Vyasa pujas, all the donations, if you know that you're not the deliverer? Deliverer is the founder Acharya. So there's a lot of hypocrisy going on also, a lot of hypocrisy. So how do we deal with this? Let devotees be honest with themselves. Devotees have to be honest with themselves. I know that being a guru to someone else is a personal thing, should not be anybody's affair. If I decide to become a guru to someone, that's my personal thing. And who assists my disciple or who assists my guru, that's a personal thing. So who's your guru, who is your disciple, that is something that is strictly personal. Just like many times you go to a temple, you greet someone, and the first question they ask you, oh, Prabhu, who's your guru? That is nonsense. That is totally nonsense. What's your business for you to be asking me, who's my guru? Who are you to be asking who's my guru? What has got? It's a totally nonsensical thing. But because the devotees have been brainwashed to think this way, So this, this is going on. But Narottam Das Thakur said that the method of your worship should be kept confidential. Who you follow, which your guru thing, should be kept confidential thing. It should not be made a public matter. That yes, in ISKCON, our guru is Srila Prabhupada, is the final acharya, but we also have our individual gurus. But that should be kept personal thing. It should be kept personal. It's something that's be kept confidential only, not to be revealed to anybody else. Because if to anybody else, they simply exploit it. That's all. They exploit it. So anyway, your question is not a simple answer. That's just my viewpoint. But I'm sure other devotees, they will say something different, different to that. But we should just not fall into this rhetoric ideology that yes, you are the disciples of the founder Acharya. But don't stop at the founder Acharya. Be a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta, or be a disciple of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. Be a disciple of Lord Brahma, or be a disciple of Vishnu Avatar, Matsya Avatar. Why stopping at the founder Acharya? Hare Krishna.
Well, Hare Krishna, thank you so much. I'm liking your argument, Prabhuji, because that has also been my argument all along, especially these rhetorics, and they have this ISKCON revival movement or something like that. They're all talking so much nonsense that simply because ISKCON has in the past and probably in the present have had some challenges in the guruship, it should be condemned. But Srila Prabhupada himself stated many times that the misuse or abuse of a system does not render it useless. The mere fact that different presidents in different countries have been abusing their countries should not mean that there should not be president in any country anymore. So let there be gurus. Those who fall, let them fall. Those who are able to hold on, let them hold on. But talking about His Grace Medhavi Prabhu's class he gave here sometime last week, like Shivara Prabhu said, that was his first time here, and he spoke very beautifully. And I'm not sure what he said about some Sampradayas only follow the founder Acharya. He was referring to ISKCON, because he did mention His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj. And I listened to that tape, wherein His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj was saying that in ISKCON, all the gurus still behave and work directly under Srila Prabhupada's teachings, because any guru in ISKCON just follows what Srila Prabhupada has set in motion. If you guru, you are independent, you can do whatever you want, but no guru in ISKCON can do that. And so in that respect, everybody follows what, even though they are gurus, they all follow what Srila Prabhupada has given us. So in that aspect, we all see Srila Prabhupada as like the gold standard. And that does not also mean that, like everyone is saying, I can jump and then I say that Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Maharaj is not my guru is Srila Prabhupada. I was telling Mother Jai Shri, who is a direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada, today we have some groups who say that no living guru is qualified to give initiation. So they all take initiation from Srila Prabhupada and they call themselves disciples of Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
That is absolute nonsense. Whereas Srila Prabhupada himself has said that you cannot jump. He says, if you jump, you break your leg. But these are some of the things we should be very, very careful, because it's all over the internet. And if one is not very careful, these people know how to speak so sweetly, and we become vulnerable. And that is why today is a very special day. Bhaktisiddhanta, Lion Guru. We have to be very strong in our preaching.
Yeah, I've seen a 20-year-old. He's a proper disciple. It's just like just my grandchild. 20-year-old is a proper disciple. I say, oh, good.
Just imagine. It's sad, but it's going on.
It's Kali Yuga, so
yeah. Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. You've been here for so long. It's late your time, but I still have one last question on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. It's nice you were talking about how he took a vow that he was going to chant 1 billion holy names of the Lord.
Just one second. How do you, Prabhu, how do you feel about my response? Is that okay?
Oh, okay.
Prabhuji, fantastic. you spoke as you should speak.
Yeah.
I was just trying to see, whether there's any validation, because the Prabhu spoke very nicely. And then when he said that in passing, I was just thinking, is there any scriptural validation for that? Like you rightly said, there's no such.
No.
So thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Well, before I go ahead, there is Hamsadutta Prabhu, you've been on mute. I've been talking too much. You go ahead, Hamsadutta.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Grace, peace, and much personal obeisances.
Yeah.
All glory to Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. No, I'm back. I'll be back. All glory to Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada, and all glory to wonderful and what with this. Please, my question is about what you just said about when somebody asks you who is. So many times when I meet new people, especially here in New Vrindavan, they ask me, who is your guru and what is your name? They'll first ask me, what is your name? And I'll mention my name, and they'll also mention their name. The last experience I had was one disciple of Srila Prabhupada. We are in the dining room, and he asked me, what is your name? And I mentioned my name. And he also mentioned his name is Mathura Das. And he asked me, who is your guru? And I mentioned my Guru Maharaja's name. And I told him he's a disciple of His Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. And we have a very, very wonderful conversation. He began to tell me of wonderful pastimes about New Vrindavan, things I've never heard before. So, like what you said now about why people ask you, who is your guru? What is the best way to answer that without offending anybody if somebody asks me, who is your guru?
Yeah.
This is a simple question.
Because of immaturity, people also due to lack of knowledge, ignorance, people ask, who's your guru? It's not your business. What does that matter to you? Asking somebody who's his guru. It's like who's your father? Who's your father? I want to know my father. It's actually an insulting question also. So people, they don't have, people are so immature in devotional circles. They keep asking this question: who's Vaishnava? Is a Vaishnava? What does that mean? Which ghost? What is your ghost? Which ghost are you coming from? So it's immature question. Normally, it's always better to deflect the question, to deflect it and say something else. It's always best. Personally, I do that. I don't even pray for. Of course, myself, I don't see anybody who's bold enough to ask me who's my guru, because normally I deflect the question. If I don't ask you who's your guru, why should we be asking who's my guru? So,
it's very difficult for me in that situation.
Yeah,
so
maybe because you're a young devotee. So
yes.
Who's your guru? So the person just answered, I'm just trying to be a humble servant. That's I've been trying to serve. There are many cultures in this world that you cannot call your husband by the name.
Yes.
There are many cultures. I remember when I was in Atlanta, I was asking one lady devotee, that who's your husband? He just said, "Oh, my husband," and she told me, "So my husband is this." But she will never mention the husband by name. Also here in India, also there are many cultures. They will never say who's their Swami. Swami means the husband, so they will never mention the husband because it's considered to be disrespect to mention your master by name. It's disrespectful. So it's always so the best course of action is to deflect that, because it's considered to be disrespectful to one's guru, but to calling out his name to people. My guru is so and so, this and so person. It's insulting us. It's disrespectful. So personally, I don't always deflect that. And also, to me, I say, okay, you can know who's my guru by seeing my behavior. Is my behavior is good enough? Maybe who is my guru? Because as they say, a disciple is known by a disciple for a guru of it's so much guru, but not by how much a person is reflecting of the teaching. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right. Anyway, I'm sure some other devotee may have some other point of view in that regard. That's the beauty of the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. There's always different viewpoints or different ideas.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I was asking a question about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Of course, he took some drastic actions that, of course, we are all advised not to imitate. And even if we tried, we will not be able to. A boy at age 6 taking a vow never to eat mango again, sweet mango, because he ate it unoffered. We cannot. But it seems to me that Krishna, who is the master of all opulence, likes to see his devotees very poor and wretched. Why would I read Srila Bhaktisiddhanta? He was living in one grass house, thatched house, and that was where he was living and doing this japa. When it rains, because it's a grass house, the rain falls into wherever he's sleeping, and he will get up and use an umbrella to prevent the rain dropping on him. My question is, why should Vaishnavas, worshippers of Lord Vishnu, worshippers of Krishna, the master opulent, have to live in such very, very austere lifestyle? Why? Does Krishna become so happy seeing his devotees lean, hungry, and as beggars? Please help me.
I mean, just like I can see a very beautiful house behind you. So I could say that way. Imagine to have a nice house like that.
Oh my God.
The point is that we are not material body, we are spirit souls. Some personalities who live in a thatched hut, they actually see it as living in the palace. It's just like when Lord Ramachandra, when he was going to the forest, he was being put in he was going exile into the forest. And that time, he told Mother Sita that she should stay in the palace behind. That's very comfortable for her. And Mother Sita was insisting that she must go with him to the forest. And Lord Rama said that forest is such a difficult place. So many wild forests, wild animals, full of very, very bad situation. It's not a place for a princess like you. So Mother Sita replied that wherever you are, that is, to me, is much better than any palace or heavenly planet. To me, if I have to stay here in the palace and you're in the forest, then this palace will be much more hellish. We turn to the most hellish environment for me. Will be much more worse than being the so-called forest and being the forest. So therefore, my heaven is to be with you. That's my habitat. That's my habitat. It is. So devotees, they don't see this so-called. I mean, just like you said that in order to practice yoga, that one must go to the forest to practice yoga. And why was no one go to the forest? To conquer fearlessness. So the yogis, devotees, they conquer fearlessness. So therefore, they live everywhere. When the Goswami came to Vrindavan, where were they living? They were sleeping under the trees every night, sleeping under the trees every night. And not just the same tree, they will sleep under different trees every night. Why do they sleep under different tree? Because not to cultivate attachment to that particular tree. Oh, this tree is okay, let me sleep here. No, they will go to different trees every night when they are living. And they did that for many, many years. They did not, even though they built temple, but they never live in a temple. You see, the Goswamis of Vrindavan, they built like Radha Govinda temple, Madan Mohan, Dharmadara temple, Govind. They built so many, but they never live inside the temple. They live on the trees. They just initiate someone to be pujari and take care of the deity. But they said they never live in a temple because they find happiness that way, it's not that deep. So devotees, they do this thing. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta living under a thatched hut and chanting, and he was there for 4 years, solid years. He was there chanting for 4 years. He never feel that, oh, why am I in this hut? So austere. Not just rain, so many snakes, Mayapur is full of snakes. So many snakes become and go and all that. But he was completely fearless, totally detached. He was not in his body. He wasn't feeling that this is his body. So therefore, totally fearless. But what you find is that Krishnas will always protect his devotees, just like when Raghunath Das Goswami, when he was chanting, he was doing his japa, his chanting in Radhakund. He was just sitting on an open area, and sometimes and that time there were so many tigers. Many tigers are there. But it so happened that when Raghunath Das Goswami was chanting, Krishna himself will come and he will hold his stick, fending off any tigers, any wild animals that may come. But Raghunath Goswami, he didn't know that. He was simply absorbing his bhajan. The Krishna is there guiding him. So much so that one time, when Sanatana Goswami saw this, he saw that Krishna was guiding Raghunath Das Goswami. So he told him that, Raghunath, what are you doing? Krishna is here guiding you. He's there serving you. We're supposed to be serving them. So therefore, you must build a cottage. Don't let Krishna come and serve you this way. So you must build a cottage. So, devotees are not concerned with where they live. They are not concerned with their concern is how they can increase their love for Krishna. So we should try to develop the same mode. That's our great preceptors, that's the way they live their life, simplicity under the trees or under a thatched hut. So we have to see how we can develop the same mindset. We have to see how we can develop the same. I know it's difficult, but we have to come to that platform. We have to come to that platform. Then we become fearless.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
So that house behind you, sell that house and come to the use the money to print a lot of books.
That reminds me of one time His Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaja came to Ghana, and he was told that Sahadev is watching television. Because then the devotees were not watching television. So Gurudev said, okay, Sahadev. So it was Saturday. He says, tomorrow, Sunday, you bring your TV set, and then we'll put it in the fire sacrifice. We say Swaha. Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Actually, before we end, I just remembered one thing His Grace Maharaja Prabhu wrote, I think sometime last week, his daily golden nuggets. He was talking about this same thing we're talking about Brahmana, Vaishnav, and even like African tradition. And Prabhuji emphasized how we should not even dare compare anything to who a Vaishnav is. I remember. So I just remembered, I said, okay, yeah, Prabhuji has already actually described that in his daily nuggets, because sometimes some of us become tempted to assuming and thinking that simply because we respect all religions, we respect all faiths, we are all on the same level. But we are all one, and at the same time, there is a difference also that we all should recognize and accept. iPhone, please, you may unmute.
Oh, this is I can see Mukunda Prabhu's television.
Is that, oh my
Haribo.
God.
I mean,
Mukunda Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Haribo, Dandavad. Yeah, I had to multitask.
Jai
I was
Prabhu,
looking-
Hare
looking
Krishna.
for Thakur Ji, so I was listening, but I could not participate directly.
Yeah.
But now everything is getting prepared. So just very nice class, Ishwara Prabhu. This is a very auspicious day. The Tirobhava Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. If it wasn't for Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then the special power and order that he gave to our Srila Prabhupada to fulfill the prophecy of Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada carried that order on his head. There's a very special prayer that's mentioned, Agyak Shirasi Dharini Shakya Vesha Sarupine, that our Srila Prabhupada, having kept that order on his head and in his heart, he was empowered directly by Nityananda Prabhu, Akanda Guru Tattva, to manifest the prophecy of Mahaprabhu. Prithviyachi Nagarari Gram Savacha Pracha Hoebe Nam. Mahaprabhu directly, he spoke that this Harinam and all of the conceptions of Harinam would spread all over the world. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he, among his army of great souls, he specially gave some power to our Srila Prabhupada that he could be the emissary of that prophecy. So it's very, very special connection, especially between Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our Srila Prabhupada. Just very, very amazing thing. Just one other thing is that I heard some of the conversation about the current Ritvik Vad, et cetera, So these things are not in our line, and we cannot deviate from what our acharyas have given to try to accommodate contemporary institutional solutional ideas. Like, because some gurus may have fallen into difficulty or whatever the case might be for whatever various reasons, we should also not criticize, because if they were Vaishnavas who sincerely tried, but somehow didn't meet that standard or something, then we pray that they will stay in bhakti and progress. You understand? But we cannot change the entire system of Guru Tattva to try to make a solution to that by suggesting that everyone will only take from Srila Prabhupada, because then the idea will get out of hand. Why not take from Rupa Goswami directly? Why not actually go to Mahaprabhu directly? You understand? Yeah, go to Lord Brahma. Just go to the head of Sampradaya. Don't do anything. Not only that, but the relationship with Guru is not only in this world, but the relationship you have with Guru here is also maintained when you achieve your perfection in Golok Vrindavan, etc. So that relationship is not a temporal relationship. It begins here in this world. And actually, Narottam Das Thakur, we sing every day, Chakudana Diloye, Janami, Janami Prabhu say.
my Guru Dev has not only been my Guru Dev in this life, but in so many lives, my Guru Dev has been there, still helping my maturation and perfection to come about. And when perfection takes place, that same Guru will appear as the eternal associate in Golok Vrindavan, under whose guidance you will still continue in serving. So in Ramanuja Sampradaya is different because their ideal is Vaikuntha. So in Vaikuntha, everybody has their own individual mukti status, liberated status in Vaikuntha. But in Braj, Raganuga Southern, the Guru is an eternal manifestation. Even when you get to Golok Vrindavan, that Guru is the person who continues to be your guide in their eternal form when you receive your eternal form. So this relationship is very special and it can't be circumvented in favor of like a kind of institutional, sort of Ritvik, whatever kind of thing can happen.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for everything. Just like everyone is saying, I'm happy with myself because that has always been my argument that if you say there is no one qualified, we all have to go to Srila Prabhupada, then why do I have to go to Srila Prabhupada and not go to Bhaktisiddhanta? And why should I go to Bhaktisiddhanta and not go Kishore, to Bhakti Vinod, then all the way to Brahma, and even by Brahma?
Yeah.
That's Krishna.
Yeah. But even more, it's an offense to Srila Prabhupada to suggest that he's the empowered acharya of the age, he didn't make one pure devotee.
It's an insult. It's an
insult. It's an aparad.
Big insult. Big insult. I'm happy with myself because Prabhuji, I'm hearing this from you.
It's not due to lack of faith, because we don't there's no faith in the process. So that's all this idea is, because there's no faith in the what Lord Krishna says, what they achieve, because there's no faith there. Krishna said, even parampara praptam, that's what Krishna says.
Yeah.
This is repeated again and again, even parampara praptam. Krishna said. So
well,
anyway, I'm so glad that we see you here.
Yeah,
I was traveling so much, Prabhu. It started to get a bit much, and so now I'm not traveling anymore until April. So
okay.
Break.
Thank you so much. Sri Shara Prabhu, we can't thank you enough because it's late your time and you're still here with us. Dear devotees,
it's after 11 p.m., so I'm still.
Yes. Dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute yourselves, and we all with one heart, one voice, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our deepest appreciation and gratitude to our revered speaker, His Grace Ishwara Prabhu, for sharing his love and wisdom with us all on this very auspicious day of the divine disappearance of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Please, you may all unmute. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhya Titanam pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. All glories to His Grace Ishvara Das Prabhu ki jai. All glories to Jagannath Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Hare